Here. It's an awesome evening. We have an awful lot we want to squish into a very relaxed, non-stressed service that we're going to squish a lot of things into. Can I ask a question? How many people have never been to B'nai Zion before? We're really glad you're here, and we hope you feel comfortable. It's our intention that a house of prayer should be a house of prayer for all people. We hope that you can find what? Everybody's warm? What? Let's see. It says heat, and I don't want it to say heat anymore. I would like it to say cool, and I would like it to cool down to about here. Let's try that. Yeah, that'll work. But now you have to promise to sit closer to each other because soon you're going to be cold, and I'm not stopping the service in the middle to keep pushing those buttons. I'm glad you said that because I'm wearing a woolen robe, and Liam's wearing like layers, so we're glad you said that. But we hope that you feel comfortable here, not just the temperature, because that we're not going to have a lot of control over soon, but that you find that you can say amen to the prayers that we say. The prayer book that you have in front of you, there are two versions of it. He and I are using a dark gray book, and you're using light gray versions, the ones in front of you. If you notice, there's something cool about this prayer book. The page numbers are on the center of the page at the bottom, and that's so that they could print this book, and if they bind it on this side, then it's going to open and pretend to be a Hebrew book. And if they bind it on this side, then it's going to open and pretend to be an English book, and it's the same exact pages. And even though it's a service where there will be some Hebrew, the vast majority of it is in English, because some people here like English. And when we're doing Hebrew, there's typically, the vast majority of time, there's a transliteration. So if it's something that you might want to try to join with us about, you can use what I say looks like English and sounds like Hebrew. A prayer book is called a Siddur. Some of you may recognize the word Seder. Have you ever been to a Seder, a Passover Seder, for example? It means order. It follows the same order all the time. Wherever you are in the world, you're going to have the same order of prayers. And if you've ever been to services at any religious institution, you will probably recognize the order of prayer and some of the prayers because a lot of them are similar or the same. And I hope that helps make you feel comfortable, but we started. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. Not kidding. No, it's just... But I think you'll find in this prayer book, there are three versions of the Shabbat evening service. The Hebrew is the same for each of them, but the English changes a little bit to change what the kind of the mood of it is, the nuance of it. And Liam chose this one thinking that you would be inspired by it. For most of the service, he is going to lead the service. Becoming a Bar Mitzvah means that he is now a Jewish adult, which means that he is obligated to the commandments, and we have 613 commandments, and that's a lot of commandments, and he's going to fulfill a whole bunch of them tonight by leading a service and by reading Torah for you so that you can hear the Torah, and I think that you'll be inspired by what he says and how he does it. I will be explaining other things to you later, but for the most part you'll notice that if we're on one page, and we read whatever it is, if we read Hebrew, we rarely also read the English translation, so you may want to look at that if you want to see what it is that we're doing. The translation's almost always there. And then we'll go to the next page. That's how it's going to work. And if we jump, I'll tell you when we're jumping, and I'll call out a page number. Otherwise, for the most part, we're just going through from one page to another. The family has been given honors at some point in the middle of the service. If you see people coming up, don't think that you have to jump up and do anything because he's picked on some people already. And it's not that he didn't want to honor everybody, but he's already chosen a few people to help with this service. So don't be stressed that you're next. But also notice that the people who are doing the honors, I'm going to say that now, they have never done this before. So they're going to make Liam look good. That's their job. So, but be patient with them as we do this, because for a lot of people, this is their first bar mitzvah. Liam said it was the first time he was ever a bar mitzvah. I was shocked because he's so good at this. I couldn't believe it. He's really good at this. And I want everybody to remember when we're finished with this to say happy birthday to him too, because as he pointed out to me, this morning, he called it, he officially became a teenager. So I said, whatever. No, I didn't. I didn't. But remember, and if you have a birthday or an anniversary in December, we're going to be honoring you and giving you presents, and that means anyone here. So please remember for that later in the service. I'm ready to start. This is our regular Shabbat evening service, except we don't typically have a Torah service in our evening service, but we're doing that for Liam. And other than that, I think that you will enjoy. And we're also streaming the service. Hello to everybody out there. We are going to begin first then by, we have a tradition. A few things happen on Shabbat. It is the day of rest. I hope that you remembered to leave all of your lists outside those doors. You're not allowed to stress or worry about anything for the next, it's about 25 hours. Not at all. So I hope you left those lists out. If you left them outside the synagogue door, you can come back Sunday morning or Sunday night or Monday morning. They'll still be there for you. I don't mind if you leave them longer than Shabbat. Just remember to leave them. I hope that took some stress off of you. And the other thing that we try to do here is we start our service, we take a deep breath. We inhale slowly through our nose and let it out slowly through our mouth. Everybody try to take a deep breath. Let it out. And try again. And let it out. I'm glad we turned the air conditioning on. We'll all breathe a little bit easier. Now that you're relaxed, I hope your shoulders are relaxed. I hope that you're ready. The next thing that we do is we welcome the Sabbath, the Shabbat, which begins in the evening with the blessing of the candles and the Kiddush. We're going to start on page 65, and I invite the Haas family up to help us welcome Shabbat. And I invite you to please rise. Page 65.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvato v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot and command us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Amen.
Let there be joy.
Let there be light.
Let there be peace.
Let there be Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We now sanctify Shabbat with the Kiddush. Please turn to pages 167 and 166.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You call us to holiness with the mitzvah of Shabbat, the sign of your love, a reminder of your creative work, and of our liberation from Egyptian bondage, our day of days. On Shabbat especially, we hearken to your call to serve you as a holy people. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Yum. You know you want it. It's holy. Your dad just blessed it. You are welcome to be seated, but please say Shabbat Shalom. Wish everyone a Sabbath of peace or good Shabbos to people you came in with, somebody you didn't come in with. Make sure everybody feels welcome. Shabbat Shalom.
Can I go to the bathroom on the Kiddush? Or, I mean, can I go to the bathroom? I run with in services and everybody else does.
Do you need now?
Well, I can
Do you want to go now?
If
If you want. It's a good time now if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, turn off the mic. Turn off his mic. We continue our service by welcoming the Sabbath bride. Sometimes we use our imagination here. Sit down here. Sorry. Sometimes we use our imagination and we imagine that Shabbat is a bride and we're welcoming a bride. Imagine how excited you could be if you knew that the bride we're about to walk in right now and that the bride is Shabbat. So that's where we are on page 66. We are going to do a version, though, that does the chorus, which is the top. And then after the chorus, we're just going to say the words Shabbat Shalom.
Lecha dodi, likrot kala, penei Shabbat nekabla, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness and of the impulse within us for justice and mercy, we pray that this hour of worship may be one of vision and inspiration. Help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives.
Bless all who enter this sanctuary in search and in need, all who bring to this place the offering of their hearts.
May our worship here lead us to fulfill our words and intentions with acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen.
We have come together to strengthen our bonds with our people Israel. Like Jews of generations past, we celebrate the grandeur of creation. Like Jews of every age, we echo our people's ancient call for justice. Our celebration is a sharing of memory and hope. We are Jews, but each of us is unique. We stand apart and alone with differing feelings and insights. And yet we are not entirely alone and separate, for we are children of one people and one heritage. Our celebration unites many separate selves into a single chorus. And we are one in search of life's meaning. All of us know despair and exaltation. All bear burdens. All have moments of weakness and times of strength. All sing songs of sorrow and love. May our celebration bring us strength along our way. In this circle of hope, in the presence of the sacred, may the heart come to know itself and its best, finding a fresh impulse to love the good.
May our celebration lead us to work for the good, and may this Shabbat give strength to us and to our people, Israel.
We're going to sing this as a round. We're going to say, behold, how good and how good it is and how pleasant when we dwell together in unity. Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manaim, shevet achim gam yachad. I think Liam is ready to take over now.
Yeah.
He will continue on page 69.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Vel madi v'chirute vel michmalhute b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayet kol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vi Bizman Kariv, V'meru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach, Le'alamum al Me'amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitroman, Vitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemeda Kudesha, Brehu, Le'al Mimkol, Birhata V'shirata, Kudush, Birhata V'nechemata, Damim al Me'alma, V'meru,
Amen.
Barechu et Adonai, HaMevorach,
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
As day departs, as the dark of night descends, we lift our eyes to the heavens. In awe and wonder, our hearts cry out.
Eternal God, how majestic is your name in all the earth.
A vast universe, who can know it? What mind can fathom it? We look out to the endless suns and ask, what are we? What are our hopes and our dreams? What are we that you are mindful of us? What are we that you should care for us?
And yet, within us abides a measure of your spirit. You are remote, but oh how near, ordering the stars in the vast solitudes of the dark, yet whispering in our minds that you are closer than the air we breathe. For you have made us little less than divine, and crowned us with glory and honor. With love and awe we turn to you, and in the dark of evening we seek the light of your presence.
One and only God, you have made each of us unique and formed us to be united in one family of life. Be with us, Eternal One, as we seek to unite our lives with our power and your love.
We proclaim now your oneness and our own hope for unity. We acclaim your creative power in the universe and in ourselves, the law that binds world to world and heart to heart.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shekivod Maluto Leolam Vaed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבדיך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהים. You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be swords before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness, a world waiting still to be redeemed, give us, O source of good, the courage to say, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and your love.
From Egypt, the house of bondage, we were delivered. At Sinai, amid peals of thunder, we bound ourselves to your purpose. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, we survived oppression and exile time and time again, overcoming the forces that would have destroyed us.
Our failings are many, our faults are great, yet it has been our glory to bear witness to our God and to keep alive in dark ages the vision of a world redeemed.
May this vision never fade. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we sing with one accord, as Moses, Miriam, and Israel sang at the shores of the sea. V'ne'emar, and it has been said, the Eternal One delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up to find our hearts waiting to do your will.
We praise you, guardian of Israel, whose love gives light to all the world.
O God of Israel, may our worship on this day help us to grow in loyalty to our covenant with you and to the way of life it demands, the way of gentleness and justice, the path of truth and of peace.
V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השני שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please turn to page 76 and rise for the tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha Simcha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, V'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, El Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Hasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Hasder Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Mashiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Source of all being, we turn to you, as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in their heavens. They felt you in their hearts. They sought you in their lives. Now their quest is ours. Help us, O God, to celebrate the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer to realization the great hope inherited from ages past, for a world transformed by liberty, justice, and peace. Your might, O God, is everlasting.
Help us to use our strength for good.
You are the source of life and blessing.
Help us to choose life for ourselves and our children.
You are the support of the falling.
Help us to lift up the fallen.
You are the author of freedom.
Help us to free the captive.
You are our hope in death as in life.
Help us to keep faith with those who sleep in the dust.
Your might, O God, is everlasting.
Help us to use our strength for good.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who strive to be holy declare your glory day by day. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el Hagadol, Hakadosh. We praise you, eternal God, the holy God.
You may be seated. You get to stay up here.
Oh.
You can sit if you want. You want to sit? I got this
I'm
one.
so used to doing that at services.
I know. He thinks he's in services with you right now. Yismechu v'chanechu decha, shomorei, shomorei, shomorei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'chanechu decha, shomorei, shomorei, shomorei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei Shavi Shabbat, Kulam Yismehu V'yitrangu Mituvecha. You can help me with this part. Ready, go. Shabbat Yismechu V'chanechu decha, Shomorei, Shomorei, Shomorei Shabbat, V'korei oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, Chemda yamim oto karata Shabbat. Come on, it's fun, you should do it.
Yismechu v'malechu decha, Shomorei, Shomorei, Shomorei Shabbat, V'korei oneg Shabbat. Zecher lema'aseh, lema'aseh v'reishi Shabbat. Zecher lema'aseh, lema'aseh v'reishi Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechu decha, Shomorei, Shomorei, Shomorei Shabbat, V'korei oneg Shabbat.
God of Israel, may our worship on this Sabbath bring us near to all that is high and holy. May it bind the generations in bonds of love and sharing, and unite us with our people in common hope and faith. And through Sabbath rest and worship, may we learn to find fulfillment and joy in the vision of peace for all the world.
You are with us in our prayer, in our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
Eternal source of good, we give thanks for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself and its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days.
Teach us, God of wonders,
To work for a just and compassionate society, where all may share your gifts and the joy of freedom.
Grant us peace, our most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth.
Bless our country, that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. Until this point in the service, you have been given words that have come from our tradition, but at this point, you get to say the words that are in your heart. We take a moment of silent prayer. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, be acceptable to you. God, my rock and my redeemer. God, my rock and redeemer. That wasn't the melody we were supposed to sing. I just messed that one up. I told Liam that no one is perfect, and that I always look forward to making at least 3 mistakes every service, and I can't wait to see what they are. And you may not know which mistakes they are, but I already let you know that was one. That was one. I wasn't supposed to do that melody, and it worked, but it's not what I was supposed to do. You would have liked the other one, too. At this point in our service, our hearts and our prayers turn to those who are ill or recuperating. We turn to the inside back cover of our prayer book. And before we say our prayer, I invite you to think of people who are ill or recuperating for whom you would like us to be saying prayers, and I invite you to call them out. For all these names, for the names we choose to hold in our hearts and not say out loud, we pray together. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. And I want to share another prayer with you. This is the prayer that Moses said when his sister was sick. And he said, it's one of the most powerful healing prayers I know, lots of one-syllable words. And he says, El, God, Na, please, Refa, heal, Na, please. And I'm going to change it. He said it about her, I'm going to say it about them, Lahem. I'm going to say it again in Hebrew and then in English. You can repeat if you want. El, Na, Refa, Na, Lahem. God, please, heal, please, them. He said it twice, which is why we say it twice. It has become our tradition to add this. Is anyone here related to someone who has served in any military branch? Is anyone here related to anyone who is currently serving in any military branch? Is anyone here related to someone who has or will serve has or is serving in any of the other first responder situations, police or fire or paramedics or doctors? There are a lot of people in this world who run into dangerous situations for us or who have done it, for whom we are grateful, and we say this blessing. Misha barach avotenu ve'imotenu. May the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us. In this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. Give them courage to succeed and strength to persevere. May they return home safely, and let us say, Amen. So one of the things Liam has to get used to is that this is an opportunity for him to lead a service, but it's in many ways a regular Friday night service. The first Friday of the month, each month, we try to do what we call a Simcha Shabbat, where we bless and honor those who have birthdays this month. Liam's birthday is not a surprise, it's this month. So I would like to invite everyone with birthdays or anniversaries to please come and stand up front here. I need 4 people to please hold the poles of our chuppah. And that can be anybody. And
Those are going to be some people.
we have these gifts for everyone with birthdays this month.
Mr. Fox.
You may choose from the lovely coffee mug. It's got a kind of rubbery base that keeps things lovely. Or you can choose from the
Yes.
very practical
You can get
travel
rid of
mug
the big rag.
for those of you who have birthdays this month. Ready? Here, hand these things out. If you want the mug, you can take the coffee mug, take the one in the boxes. If you want the travel mug, take the one outside. And if you need, take the one you want, whichever one you want, coffee or travel, take them, please. And there's door number 2.
Take one. You
Take
have,
them,
you
take
have to
them.
take one. You gotta take one. It's the rule.
You want to trade it in? So there are more of each. If it's your anniversary, you get 2. You don't want one at all? She got one. You got one for him. Is that the one? You got? Which one are you taking? You got it? All right, this is good. All right. There are more where that comes from. Every time the month comes up with your birthday, you come and you get yourself a birthday present. It says, what does it say on it? What does it say? It says Mazel Tov. It doesn't say but just. It also says. It also says Mazel Tov. It doesn't say just B'nai Zion. So help me bless these people with birthdays and anniversaries. God of days and years, author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. We gather today in special thankfulness to share in the happiness of our friends here. Be with them always as the joy of their life. May they be blessed with health and happiness and with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow. May we have the joy of coming together for many more years, united by mutual reverence and love. Then will our lives be filled with abundance of blessing. And we're going to say the blessing that you're going to hear a few times today, the blessing that thanks God for giving us life, sustaining us, and causing us to reach this very special moment. We say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, lazman hazeh. If you didn't say the prayer, say Amen. You just got credit for saying the prayer. We are going to put the chuppah up. We're going to put the chuppah away. Thank you, thank you. Mazel tov, everybody. I want you to pay attention to who's under that chuppah. I want you to wish them a mazel tov when you see them. Especially this guy. And I'm going to put in a plug. We have two people who are under there today, those two, who are celebrating their 75th birthday next weekend. You were invited to come to that. There's going to be amazing food afterwards in the Oneg Shabbat. So at this point in our service, we're going to go to the Torah part of the service. The Torah are the 5 books of Moses, and anyone who's ever heard me talk about this, I like to say they are General Electric, lights never dim, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. You're welcome. That's all I'm going to say. You're welcome. And so he is reading from the book of Genesis. We're in the good stories now. His Torah portion is this big, and it's the portion everybody's reading all around the world this weekend. But he gets to study that whole Torah portion in English and then pick something that kind of stood out to him. We have talks about the whole thing. And he's going to tell you about it in a little bit. I'm not going to explain too much about it. But he gets to focus on something that really speaks to him and then explain to you why he chose that section. And the section that he chose that really speaks to him, he's reading for you in Hebrew from the Torah scroll. And for those of you who don't know any Hebrew, be impressed, be very impressed. For those of you who do know Hebrew, be impressed, be very impressed. The Hebrew that you see in this book has little dots and dashes under it, little dots in it, has periods and exclamation points and things you might recognize. When you read a Torah, there is none of that. There's no dots, there's no dashes, those are the vowels, there's no punctuation. When you go down the hall, you'll see a Torah scroll that was saved from the Holocaust. I want you to look in it and see what it's going to look like. He has to read somebody's handwriting, because someone hand wrote that. It took them a year. And he's got to read all this and make it sound good enough so that if you understood what he was saying, you will understand what he was saying. So it's got to make sense. You are not obligated in Jewish tradition to be able to read the Torah from the Torah, but it's an amazing thing, and it's for the elite to try to do. And that's what he has done here. But you are obligated to hear it and understand it. So as I said, if you were able to understand the Hebrew, you would get this. But if you're not able to understand the Hebrew, I'm shocked because he reads it so well, you should be able to understand it even without. But he will translate it for you after he finishes. And then you'll know why he chose this, because then he'll explain it as well. So there are a few things I want you to know about the Torah. The words in it we respect very much. The Torah scrolls are in this holy ark, in the Aron HaKodesh, the holy ark. And when we open the ark, out of respect for those words, we stand. There's a tradition you don't turn your back on a Torah. You're going to see the Torah has bells on it, so you always know where it is, no matter how tall or short you are in this process. We also we walk it around, the Torah scroll, because we want to show that it's not something that lives in this ark up here, far away from everybody. It's something that's right here that belongs to all of us. So you'll see that some people have a tradition. Would you come up and help me, please? Demonstrate this thing. We call this Torah electricity. Some people, when the Torah walk by, they touch it. You can touch it. You can touch it, and then you kiss it. Or you can use a prayer book and touch and kiss. Or if you're wearing a talit, which I hope nobody else is, because the tradition is you don't wear it at night unless you're leading the service, like him. When the Torah walks by, you can use your talit to touch and kiss. But we're going to go up this way and come back down that way. So anybody who didn't sit on the aisle, I'm very sorry for you. No. So anybody who didn't sit on the aisle, you still get to show that you have access to the Torah as well. But we use what we call Torah electricity. So pretending this is the Torah walking by, I can take one of those three means, either the fingers or this, and you're not going to do the other one, and I can touch the Torah as it goes by and kiss. And the person who doesn't reach there, because they're sitting inside, I'm going to pass the kiss along. And you're going to kiss and pass. Now, what if you just say, oh, kissing Torah, that's not for me, and I respect you about that for whatever reason. There's also the way to touch and pass, because the person at the end may want to touch and may want to kiss the Torah. So I'm just telling you, I'm requesting that you send the Torah electricity to the end of the aisle in case they want it. Please remember, no one is obligated to do this. We just think it's cool when it happens. So that's something you're going to need to know, and there's obviously one more thing. So we like to show that learning is sweet. And one of the ways we do that is we take candy. We try to take soft candy. This is not so exactly soft, but it's soft enough candy, we hope. And we take soft candy and we gently toss, gently toss the candy. Yes, ma'am? He does not have a helmet. Be careful of his head. Be careful of the glass. We have stained glass now on our ark. We didn't used to have that. We were a little more durable. We now have, the designer felt that it was appropriate for us to have what I like to call the candy bowl lights. Please do not put the candy in the candy bowl lights. It is very dangerous for the candy and the light. Please do not do that. So I say gently toss. You really are only trying to show him that learning is sweet. And if you gently toss, then afterwards we'll let you have some. Please do not eat this in the sanctuary, and I mean that. We don't need sticky seeds for the next person. Once all the candy is tossed, we'll let the kids come up, and again, however old you are, you could be a kid, I don't care, you really need candy. Please don't eat it in the sanctuary, but once we toss it, we can collect it and go back on with our service. I will show you where in the service you will be tossing it. I trust you to hold on to this candy for the few minutes and not be distracted, because some of the most important parts of the service are going to happen while you are holding the candy in your hand. So please be respectful. The Torah is going to come out and you're going to be holding it. And I do not want you, the Torah will be out. I do not want you to throw candy at the Torah. So you are going to know that it's almost time for throwing the candy, because you're going to see me take the Torah and sneak it over by the wing here. And then I'm going to take the Torah, I'm going to take the candy and say, go, throw. And then he's going to go front and center, and you're going to gently toss it to show that learning is sweet, okay? So, you get it? Can I trust you? Please let me trust you. Please, please, please. Okay, do you trust them?
Not at all.
He doesn't trust you at all. I'm sorry. No candy for you. No, I'm kidding. And then after it's done, we can share the candy with everybody when it's done. So this is when the Torah service will begin. I invite everyone to please turn to page 141. We just skipped a lot of pages. 141. And I invite the ark openers to please start coming up. Imagine this: assembled at a mountain, our people, still bent from oppression, found you, found your Torah, found your truth, and embraced the destiny that has shaped worlds.
Help us still to shape the world according
to your will. Help us to teach and to learn, to hear your word anew, and to find it in our path, goodness and truth.
Please rise as the ark is open.
I just leave that there.
El, El, Ha'amim, Heiti, Tzonefah, Et Zion, Tivnei Chomot, Yerushalayim, Tivnei Chomot, Yerushalayim. We're in the middle of page 142. Bottom of the page it says, Havugod el Eloheinu, utenu chavod la Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, udevar Adonai
שנתן תורה, תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
Beit Yaakov, l'chu v'nelcha be'or Adonai, O house of Jacob, come, let us walk by the light of our God.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu Adonai iti u'neroma ma shemo yachdav, will magnify the Eternal One with me, and together let us exalt God's name. And we're going to do something important here. This Torah represents the legacy that has been passed down from generation to generation. So parents, would you come in and hold on to this guy as we pass him this legacy? If he drops the Torah, we only have to fast for 40 days. No pressure. It is a heavy responsibility. You got it? You got it. He's got it. We're going to turn back to page 141 and sing the song at the bottom of the page that has transliteration, so we can join.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim.
Take one piece.
Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim.
Want to hug and kiss him?
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam
You may be seated. It's kind of funny if we stop the song on Omed because it means stand, and you got to sit. I got that. That was hysterical. No eating the candy. I'm not kidding. All right, I need you to do something here. Get the stuff.
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
Please,
I was
please, 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 please. Let's see what we got here.
Sorry, I forgot to grab that before.
So in some ways, no eating the candy. No talking about eating the candy. No, I'm just kidding. Just be ready. Torah is out. We're not going to do it while the Torah is out. The Torah is going to be away. So you'll see. He's going to finish reading the Torah. And he's going to finish translating the Torah. This is, in many ways, the most important part of the service today for him. The moment when he takes on this responsibility and is given this aliyah, this honor of blessing and reading from the Torah. Pressure? No pressure, right?
You've said this is the most important part 3 times.
Do I mean it?
It
Do
keeps
I
getting
mean
more
it?
important.
Do I mean it? I mean it. Ya'amad Liam ben Rachel v'David Bar Mitzvah. I'm going to do it 3 times. No, I'm not. Okay, open it up. Let's find that part. Stay open, Torah. I got it.
Oh, it's
I
the
got-
binder.
I got it.
It's the binder.
What?
It's pressing against the binder.
That's okay. You're not supposed to open it yet. You're supposed to just kiss. Just take and kiss.
Yeah, but I gotta open
Kiss.
it to.
Kiss, find it. Where's your spot? Where's your spot? Where's your spot?
I always forget to do this.
It's right here.
And banana more.
That's your word. Now close. There you go.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach. Baruch Adonai hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah. And V'inei anochi imach, ushemarticha b'chol asher telech, v'hashivoticha el ha'adama hazot, ki lo e'ezavacha ad asher im atziti et asher dibartilach. Vaikat Yaakov Mishnato Vayomer Achen Yesh Adonai Bamakom Hazeh Ein Ze Vahanachi Lo Yadati Vayira Yid Vayomar Ma Nora Hamakom Hazeh Ein Ze Ki Ein Bet Elohim V'Ze Sha'ar Hashemayim. Hey, my will be filled. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam natan pitochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
That's the second time I did that.
We now call up the strong left-handed guy who's going to be lifting the Torah.
Come on,
and
Poppy. Come
the
on.
two experienced now people who are going to be dressing the Torah. He is left-handed. We checked on that too. Grandpa Bob is the strongest guy in the family. That was what they said, and we're glad he's here. Please rise and turn to page 146-ish. I don't know, something like that. It's okay. It's going to happen quickly. Just get ready. Open up. Left. Slide. Yeah, it looks good. Pick it up like this. Come down a little like this. And use it as a full. Come down like this and go under. Nice. Backwards, careful.
You get it?
Keep going. Yep.
Yeah, you
Good. Okay, you may be seated.
There you go.
Right hand over. Good. Thank you. Where are you
All
going?
right, you guys now get to pelt me with candy.
You not yet. You don't. No, you don't. Not yet. You
No?
don't.
Oh, yeah, the
The
speech.
Torah's out, not the speech. Just that. Slowly and carefully. He's going to tell you what he just read. You're doing a good job without me.
The Torah selection I read today is from the book of Genesis, beginning with chapter 28, verse 15. God said, "And here I am, with you. I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this soil. I will not let go of you as long as I have yet to do what I have promised you." Waking up from his sleep, Jacob said, "Truly, the Eternal is in this place, and I did not know it." Jacob was awestruck and said, "How awe-inspiring is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." All right, now you guys get to pelt me with candy. And when the Torah goes up.
Now you can help. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Wait. Go down. Get away. Get away. Gently toss. Nothing dangerous. There are a lot of people here. Glass behind you. Go. Please be gentle. Gently, gently.
All right, now I can throw a penny back at you.
Gently. No throwing back. Gently, gently.
You guys are hitting the arc. No, okay. Thanks.
Okay, Torah's
That's
back.
disappointing.
Stop throwing. You can collect now. Collect now. Please don't
oh
eat
no.
it in the sanctuary.
I guess I'll just take one. Oh God. Oh, that's a lot of kids.
Simon
There you go.
Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov,
I got
Simon
one.
Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov.
can donate me now if you
Yehelanu. Thanks. Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel
Wait, you
Tov,
can make
Simon
it.
Tov,
Sorry,
Simon
I left
Tov.
my
Come
phone
here,
up here this
come here,
morning
come
at
here,
practice
come
and I
here.
forgot.
Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov. Yehelanu.
Sam, you're just that unlucky kid.
Yehelanu, Yehelanu.
How did
Do
they
not
clear
eat it yet. Don't eat it yet.
My
Thank you
question
very
is,
much.
how did they clear it out so fast?
I'm telling you, this is my favorite part. Did you see how fast they clean? Are you guys busy on Sunday? We need some cleaning for Sunday too. Take a deep breath. Nice. So he is now about to tell you some lessons from his story, from why he chose this, and a few other important things.
Yeah.
You are on. Go.
The Torah portion that is read this week
Slowly.
all over the world is a long, weird story. You're probably familiar with it. Jacob runs away from home because his brother threatens to kill him. On his travels, he falls in love at first sight with a woman named Rachel, who he later finds out is his cousin. Yeah. As you know, he works for 7 years to be able to marry Rachel, but instead, her father tricks him into marrying her older sister, Leah, first. He gets to marry Rachel, but has to work 7 more years. Then, Jacob starts having babies. Lots of babies. I can go into detail about the babies and the jealousies, but the part I want to talk about, the part that I read from the Torah scroll, is when Jacob first left his parents' house. Just before any of that happened, when Jacob had just left home, night falls for the first time. Jacob takes a rock, puts it under his head, and sleeps. He has a dream that there's a ladder set up going to heaven with angels going up and down the ladder. God is standing next to Jacob and says that God will protect Jacob and supply him with what he needs to survive. Jacob wakes up from the dream and says, "Clearly, the Eternal One is in this place, and I did not know it." This part really makes me think, God says he will protect Jacob, and Jacob instantly thinks God is in the place he's sleeping in. When I read this part, I saw God isn't just in that specific place. God is with Jacob. Jacob having that aha kind of moment makes me think of a dream I had a while ago. About a month or two after my great-grandmother died, I had this dream that everybody in my family was together in this one room, even my great-grandmother. Everyone was just talking. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but they were also eating these little small orange candies she always had set up in a glass jar for us. While writing this, I just couldn't stop thinking about the dream. Every time I read over the dream part of Jacob's story, I thought more and more about the dream. It just stuck. During the dream, I felt Amal with me, like a calming spirit. I felt it right there, sitting near me. This is just so specifically close to how Jacob felt God comforting him, promising him his permanent protection. It was my aha moment. If someone were to ask me how I feel about being Jewish, I would say that I absolutely love it. I love hearing about the Torah stories and reading Hebrew from the Torah, learning the Hebrew alphabet, and listening to the prayers and music of the Friday night Shabbat services. And all that has allowed me to help lead this service to show how proud I am to become a Bar Mitzvah. Judaism has always been something I strive to study and learn more. My Jewish studies have taught me, and my parents too, honestly, that if I get any money for any reason, a portion goes to tzedakah, organizations with special needs. In addition to making financial donations, I also like to support the Humane Society and hope that you all adopt a dog or cat today. Just kidding. Wait till tomorrow. Speaking of support, I truly appreciate the support that you are all giving me by coming to this service to celebrate this special occasion with me and my family. I'm grateful to see friends and family and people from the Jewish community. Thank you, my teachers who came here tonight as well. Speaking of teachers, I want to thank Rabbi for how much you've helped me for all these months of practicing for this Bar Mitzvah, and been overall someone who makes the services enjoyable. I don't know how, but I've somehow enjoyed the hour of singing Hebrew. But I've looked forward to all of our Tuesday and Thursday lessons. There's one story I would like to tell, even though it isn't about learning Hebrew specifically. One Tuesday, I was in a good mood, ready and prepared for school. And, of course, the instant I step into first hour, I'm greeting with like 17 pop quizzes instantly. You may have guessed, since they were all surprises, I wasn't prepared for any of them, and failed about 5 of them. Things kept getting worse as the day progressed. Science was a pain, gym was dodgeball where I got hit in the stomach by 2 different 8th graders, and then lunch, had a sandwich that got crushed by my water bottle. I felt like the bad day just wasn't letting up. When I finally got home, I sit down and remember it's Tuesday, which meant I had to go to Hebrew lessons. I get to B'nai Zion in a terrible mood and sit down to do Hebrew with the rabbi. She can tell I'm upset and asks me what's wrong. I tell her about my day, and honestly, it made me feel a lot better. She then tells me she had a bad day too, and proceeded to tell me how her son's car broke down, Max, hi Max, while she was using it. She then said she had chocolate in her office, gave me a piece, and we both ate chocolate while reading Hebrew. She managed to turn my absolutely crummy day into a not-so-terrible day. Thanks, Rabbi. Gigi, Mimi, and Poppy. Hi, Gigi, Mimi, and Poppy. Thank you guys for always letting me stay over at y'all's houses. Thank you for always having something interesting for 6-year-old Liam to do, or for any age Liam to do. Mimi, thanks for always letting me do stuff with you, like cook with you, help you feed the dogs, played board games, just generally being there for me. And Poppy, thank you for always taking me to nearby football games, throwing and catching baseballs, and getting into heated arguments about whether TV is better today or when it first came out. And Gigi, thank you for never failing to overdose me on sugar. You stay in Shreveport, the second I see you, I'm immediately treated to a large bag of Starburst. Whenever I stay at your house, when I wake up, I'm greeted to like 5 dogs staring at me watching me sleep. That's great. Amma and Papa. This segment of my speech was the absolute hardest to write, emotionally. We lost Papa last year and Amma 2 years ago. Amma was the greatest. She was kind, funny, and sweet. Every time I visited her, she would have these little orange candies in a jar and these little expired Coke bottles. Every time we went up to Arkansas to visit her, she would stand up and walk over to the door to let us in. She was 96, by the way, and she still squeezed the life out of me with her hug. She was the greatest. And Papa would always watch any tennis or golf game that was on. He loved those. He taught me how to play tennis, and he was a really good player for a while. Then he started playing golf. They were the greatest people. Thank you, guys. I love you. Ivy. Thank you, Ivy, for always being that pesky, lovable person. Sometimes, I will admit, you can be annoying, but overall, you're the best. Thank you for all the times you as a little kid played with me. And remember the time you were like, 6-ish? And we got on the couch and had a nerd fight, which is where we pretended to throw invisible fireballs at each other. And when you ask me to help you with your homework, it really makes me happy. The fact that you're in Gateway making straight A's is amazing. I'm not jealous at all. But really, Ivy, thank you for being my sister. I love you.
Aww.
Because she asked me to. Dad. Thank you for always being so involved in all my schoolwork. In all my schoolwork. When you come home every day and remind me to check Google Classroom, and if I've done my homework, you really are a big help. And thank you for always being semi-understanding when I forget to do that homework. Once, when I was younger, I think I was in kindergarten, we had this project where we told what all our parents' jobs were. Dad, at the time, worked as a manager for some company that designed small buildings somewhere in Bossier. I was proud to tell everybody in my class that my dad worked as a micromanager. I have learned a lot since then about your jobs and a lot since about many things. Thanks to you, I love you. Mom, thank you for always being there, always checking on me to do my homework and study Hebrew while I procrastinate and letting me babysit for Ivy while you're doing your readings, and always asking me what I did at school 100th of a second after I get home. Thank you for just being the generally funny, kind, great mom you are. Whenever I get angry at you, like when I question whether or not you can legally take my Switch away if I bought it, thanks for being generally cool about it. Whenever I'm sick, you always make sure I have plenty of Sprite and chicken soup. And Mom, one of my favorite things I've ever done is when I would cook the little HelloFresh packages with you. Even when I would oversalt the food to a near lethal dose and manage to get the entirety of the eggshell in the bowl but no actual egg, or set the timer to 30 hours instead of 30 minutes. For all these things, Mom, and more, I just want to say thank you, and I love you.
Well, so now your parents get to come up and tell you that,
Yeah.
that they love you. That was really nice. Thank you. Get your book. It's on the bottom of this page.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehegianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lezman hazeh. We praise you, Eternal One, Sovereign God of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, for enabling us to reach this season. We love you. We are so proud. This guy did so much work, guys. A ton of work for this.
Very proud of you. Your work ethic is great. Thanks, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. No, not just, we gotta take, whoop, thank you. If you turn it off, you can put it down there. There you go. Okay, whoop,
Off or mute?
off. At this time in our service, we get to put the Torah scroll back. And so I need to call the next ark openers and closers to come. Everyone, please turn in your books to page, there was a cue sheet here somewhere, take this, what page are we on? 140, I'm going to say 6-ish again. I like saying 146. One of these times I'll be right.
Yeah, I think 46.
146.
Hey, we got it.
Please rise as the ark is open. God's teaching is perfect, reviving the soul. The word is unfailing, making wise the simple. God's precepts are right and delighting the mind. God's mitzvah is clear, giving light to the eyes. God's doctrine is pure, enduring forever. God's guidance is true and altogether just. Behold, a good doctrine has been given you. Forsake it not. It is my Torah. Do not forsake it. I don't know. I mean, in the old book, it is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace.
It's Kayimi Lemakazikima V'tomeche Hamusha Yerakea Narhe Noam V'kol Netivotecha Shalom Ashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Kadesh Kadesh Yamenu Kadesh Yamenu Kekedesh
and you can hug and kiss. You may be seated.
Just don't trip, Gigi. You guys just don't trip. Just don't trip.
Yeah, well,
don't
help
trip.
him
You
down,
got
no,
this.
help him down, help him down, help him down. You can do that. Help him down. Be a good gentleman. Okay, we are 145, 146, 147. Oh, my turn. You put the book down for a sec. I'm going to put this here. You stay standing up.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he reminded me that when we first started working together, I had a very unique motivational style. He reminded me because we were trying to find ways of throwing things at him that might have been soft, and he reminded me that in our first lessons together, I was throwing things at him a lot. We had these little, they call them like porcupine balls. They're just little rubber balls that people use as fidget things. And I had just bought a ton of them to use as fidget things. And I had them in this big bucket. And every time he made a mistake, I just throw it at him. And then he'd take them and collect them and start fidgeting with them. He's come a long way since then. From fidgeting for mistakes to candy thrown at you for a really
That
good
was when I
job.
was learning the Yit Gadol.
I know.
my
I
God.
remember. He remembers. Every time he does Yud Gadol now, he's got like this PTSD.
Yeah. I can just feel it hitting.
So in your story, and I loved how you interpreted it for us and the meaning you gave and what your aha moment was. But in the story, Jacob, who had always been a home kind of guy and always lived at home, he goes off on his own. And it's kind of scary and intimidating. Excuse me. He finds a stone that he puts his head on. He pointed out, by the way, that God is also likened to a stone. I love that, and he didn't talk about that at all. Excuse me. And he said, and the part that I wanted to let him know is that as you become this young man that you are now, I'm not worried about you heading out in this world. Even if it turns out you've got stones to put under your head, I think you're going to find a lot of aha moments. I think you're going to do some amazing things, and I can't wait to see what they are. He is already begging me to lead the services again. And I'm not kidding. I'm going to take some days off now that I have him around.
That's not true. I asked twice. I just asked twice.
Was that not begging? Do it again, one more time, and then you'll be like me. You'll say things 3 times. So at this point in our service, we have some people who would like to do some presentations for him. And I am first going to call upon the president of our brotherhood to speak. Yeah. That's what it's here for. Over here, near the,
All right.
near the mic.
I love to do this, not just because I love to hear myself talk, which I do, but this is a great job. For those of us that are members of the congregation, the Jewish community, and we get to see bar and bat mitzvahs happen, 4 or 5 times a year, it's very impressive. It's always impressive. But for those of you, for your first time here, I'm telling you, he knocked it out of the park. He did awesome. Can we? Yeah. He did so awesome, so awesome. And just, being here with Rabbi, and she just loves this. And you can see the joy in her face when she's smiling up here. This is like one of her favorite things to do is bar and bat mitzvahs, and it's great to see. You did an awesome job. I mean, really, I'm impressed.
Thanks.
Good job, good job. And your dad was in the hall before toweling his eye. I mean, what did he have to be worried about? This kid's awesome.
Probably the speech.
No, you did great. You did great.
No, not what I did, what I wrote about it.
Oh, that's okay, that's okay. But on behalf of the Brotherhood, we're going to give you a Gates of Prayer book, and it has your name embossed on it. And we want you to remember the congregation you came from and the city you came from. So no matter where life takes you, school or otherwise, you always come back and you know you have a home here. Great job, buddy. Great job.
Thank you. And representing the sisterhood, we have our sisterhood representative. We're going to do this for her.
The Debbie Freeman's on.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Isn't that cool? All right, we're going to put that back here for a sec. Have a... No? No? Everybody's
no,
gonna
the
be able to
power
see you.
outlet.
No, that's okay, we got it. Right here, don't worry, he's coming over here.
Hi, Leon.
Hey, how you doing?
You gotta talk into the mic, though.
In place of our president, Bethany Sorky, it is my pleasure to be able to bring you lots of mazel tovs and good wishes from the ladies of B'nai Zion Sisterhood. This is a Kiddush cup for you to use now in your home and forever as a reminder of this happy day in your life. Mrs. Sorky did tell me that early on in religious school, you would often be heard saying, "I have something to tell you." And I think you were only practicing for this day, and you probably didn't know it. You have not only told us a lot of things tonight, but you have taught us things that we need to know and remember, even as adults. I personally think that your love for Judaism and your scientific techie mind will make you one of those people who are going to make our world a better place. And we congratulate you and wish you all the best.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And now I'd like to invite the B'nai Zion president to come up, please.
Put that right there. Oh.
Wait, could I do this first for a second? Mom, I bet this is you. Turn over here. You see that? That's you?
What?
Okay, hold on. You've got like a
What?
giant lipstick thing on here.
Oh,
I was just trying to figure out which one it was. It was a good spot. People couldn't see it for the most part, but it's a good color for you. I'm just saying. I didn't want to
told
leave it
you,
there
if I can smell it
forever.
from the
Sorry,
beginning of
let
the
me
room,
get
it's
you
too much.
your present. Sorry about that. It was just, I could see it very clearly, and I don't know if everybody else could, but sooner or later.
I walked in the room when she was putting it on, and she asked me if it's too much, and I could smell it from the other side of the house.
Well, now it was all over you, and it looked good. Nice.
Proud of you, Liam. It's been a pleasure to watch you grow up. And I knew your mother when she was a little girl, and but it's been a pleasure to see you grow up and watch you through the Friday services, the Via Hafta. And I know how, having had two sons go through Bar Mitzvah together, I know the number of years that you had to study Hebrew, the number of hours that you had to put in to prepare for this day. And I know how proud your mom and dad and all your family are of you, and your B'nai Zion family. On behalf of them, I want to tell you how proud we are of you. I will tell you that on the day of my children's B'nai Mitzvah, they were twins, what I told them was, as proud as I was of all the work they put in to reach this day and how hard you worked, today begins your journey as an adult in the Jewish life. We know that you will do, as the rabbi said, wonderful things. And as David said, you did knock it out of the park.
So this
I'm
year I
proud to
actually
be able to
fast.
present you the Bar Mitzvah certificate with your name, and we hope this will be a day that you will always think back and remember how proud we are.
Mr. President, would you stay up here and tell them what they need to
You
know
want me
now?
to do that?
Yes, please. We're going to do that now. You get to sit.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
And of course, Mazel Tov to Liam and all his family, and everybody with birthdays and anniversaries in December. Our office renovation is almost finished. If you will read this month's bulletin, you'll get more details. For now, office is in the Federation, and the Federation office until, we hope, just one more week. Please join us this Sunday from 10 to 11 a.m. To meet world-renowned artists Alexander and Luba Titovitz at a bagel breakfast hosted by North Louisiana Jewish Federation. Alexander was the artist chosen to paint the official portrait for former First Lady Laura Bush. This is now on display at the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. He also specializes in landscapes, and Luba specializes in still life. They will not only discuss their artwork, but they will also briefly tell their story about how the Jewish Federation helped them to leave the Soviet Union and come to America. Their artwork will be for sale at breakfast, and 20% of the proceeds will directly support the Jewish community of Shreveport. Buyers will be able to choose if they want the sale to support B'nai Zion, Agudath Achim, or the North Louisiana Jewish Federation. On 7 p.m., December 10th, people of the book club will discuss The Post Office Girl by Stefan Zweig. Next Friday, December 13th, our rabbi will be in Chicago for the biennial, and Ricky Mirov and his family will be leading our service, and we will also be celebrating the birthdays of Tammy Courtney and Kathy Plants, their 75th birthday during Shabbat evening service. There will be a special Oneg Shabbat following that. On Saturday morning, Max Di Benedetti will be leaving Torah study 9:45 and the service at 11 a.m. There will be a blood drive at B'nai Zion December 15th from 9 to 1. And then finally, B'nai Zion congregation and the Shreveport Jewish community, in conjunction with the University of First Presbyterian, is hosting Estelle Laughlin at noon on Sunday, December 22nd at First Presbyterian Church. Estelle is a survivor of the Holocaust, including the Warsaw Ghetto and the concentration camps. And she will tell parts of her story, followed by question and answer time, moderated by Pastor Chris Curry and our Rabbi Jana. Sunday, December 22nd will be the first night of Hanukkah. Jewish Federation Community Hanukkah Party includes a special performance by the nationally known team, the Bible Players. Their show is clever, funny, and family-friendly. Dinner will be served 5 p.m., followed by the candle lighting and the show. Please invite all your friends. Donations were made to B'nai Zion Pulpit Flowers in honor of Liam Haas by his parents, in memory of Edith Gompertz by Claire Maisel and family, in memory of Etha and Paul Silverblatt by Sam Silverblatt, and in loving memory of Charlie Yellen by Gary and Harvey Yellen. Thank you all.
Thank you. And one of the blessings we have in our community here is that Agudath Achim has chosen to worship with us tonight and celebrate, and the president of the Agudath Achim is also here, and he has a few extra announcements to add. Most of those announcements, I think, apply to the whole Jewish community. I have these for you if you want.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
On Saturday morning, December 7th, our bagel breakfast will begin at 9:15 a.m. and services to follow at 9:45, followed by a Kiddush lunch and Pirkei Avot learning afterwards at 12:30. Kids Shabbat Shindig will be at 11 a.m. Thank you to Rabbi Feivel Rubenstein for reading Torah, to Dr. Bruce Herneter for leading Pirkei Avot study after lunch, and to Rebecca Austin for leading Kids Shabbat Shindig. Thank you to Gary Yellen for sponsoring our Kiddush lunch in honor of his father, Charlie Yellen, as well as Ivan and Mamie Lusberg. On a personal note, thank you, Gary. Shabbat will begin with candle lighting this evening at 4:51 and end tomorrow evening when 3 stars appear in the sky around 5:51 p.m. On Sunday morning, December 8th at 10 a.m., well, I'm not going to read that paragraph again, you just heard it, but encouraging all of our members to attend the art and the bagel breakfast. And it looks like it's going to be a wonderful morning. Chodesh Chadash Women's Learning will continue on Wednesday, December 11th at 11 a.m. This month we'll learn some midrash written by and about women with a discussion led by Susan Gross and Rabbi Sidney. And this is one of Rabbi Sidney's notes. Whether you'd like to learn an entire children's service, read a story, or lead an activity, you too can help out with Kids Shabbat Shindig. We'd love your involvement, no matter your experience or particular interest, so please let me know when and how you can help. Coming up in the new year, we'll be doing some congregational learning about how to compassionately approach topics of death and dying within the Jewish tradition. Part of this study will include training to be a part of Chevra Kadisha, those who help to wash and prepare a body in the day or two before burial. Please let me know if you would be interested to learn more about Chevra Kadisha. No matter your physical ability or Hebrew knowledge, there's a place for you within Chevra Kadisha, and I would like to extend that invitation to all members of B'nai Zion. If any of you would like to learn more about the process, just have questions about it, or would like to be a member of that committee, we would like to extend this opportunity to you. please give Rabbi Sidney a call, or you can always talk to me about it as well. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, thank you. So we are going to turn to page 148, and the ark is going to be open. And I'm going to ask your indulgence for a moment, because while the ark is open and while Liam gets to see the magnificence of the Torah and all of the history it represents, I'm going to be giving him a very quiet blessing briefly, and then we will start the prayer that begins on page 148. So please rise as we open the ark.
248, right?
148.
Okay.
We continue on page 148. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula li'ozer b'reishit, shelo asanu k'krayei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. When the ark is closed, you may be seated.
Okay.
We continue on page 150. The day will come when all shall turn with trust to you, O God. You're finished. Hearkening to your voice, bearing witness to your truth, please join me. We pray with all our hearts. Let violence be gone. Let the day come soon when evil shall give way to goodness, when war shall be forgotten, and all at last shall live in freedom. O source of life, may we, created in your image, embrace one another in friendship and in joy. Then shall we be one family, and then shall your sovereignty be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. The eternal God will reign forever and ever. On that day, O God, you shall be one, and your name shall be one. Bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. At our congregation, we acknowledge the loss of those, again, who have been the people who run into dangerous situations just to protect us. And we've lost 34 people that they've told us about so far in the military this year, but just in the past week, there were another 3 that we lost at Pearl Harbor, another 3 that we lost at the naval base, and another 3 that we lost in a Black Hawk accident. We've lost 112 police officers this year, 2 new deaths this week. We lost 24 canine officers. We had 1 canine death this week of an officer. And we've lost 53 firefighters this year, including 1 who we lost this week. And in addition, on a closer to Shreveport note, I don't know if you saw that civil rights pioneer Dr. C.O. Cuthbert Ormond Simpkins has died. He was 94 years old. There's going to be a funeral on Thursday, but the details hadn't been established earlier today when we noticed. At the recent North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition, there was an event that honored Dr. Simpkins, They called him a living legend. He was a civil rights pioneer. He was from the Shreveport area. I was there. Barbara came with me. Former Atlanta mayor, congressman, and UN ambassador Andrew Young, who was a very powerful leader as well, was the keynote speaker, and I was honored by giving the invocation. I'm a friend of his sons, and there is, you know how we talk about how just a little bit of light can make the darkness a brighter place? This man was a beacon in our world, and it was a great loss for our whole community and for the world. So may all of these people, may their memories be a blessing. May their families be consoled. May we always be forgotten that people run into situations so that we can be protected. As we remember all these people, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss and life and death. And I invite you to turn to page 152. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but love and understanding can help us pass through the darkness toward the light. Out of affliction, the psalmist learned the law of God, and in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silence in their presence, and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they're gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wished to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has taken from us these past 30 days. We remember Norman Binder and Dean Thomas Pratt. Does anyone else have an immediate relative who died in the past month? You can call out their name. We remember congregants' parents who died within the past year. We remember Claire Anthony, Lucy Branis, Isabel Posner, Carol Ginsberg, and Johnny Engelbert. If anyone has a parent they lost this past year, I invite you to call their name out. And as we remember those who died at the seasons in years past, we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing Yortzites this week at B'nai Zion include William M. Blumberg, Richard Bronner, Eva P. Cooperstein, Ike Kullick, Melanie Meyer Goldstein, Edith Gompertz, M. Mendel Heller, Mickey Holland, Max Kaliski, Irvin Kassoff, Frank Katzenstein, Donald Kern, Jane Leeds, Doris Stern Levinson, S.S. Maris, Hyman A. Perlstein, Edith Silverblatt, Paul Silverblatt, Pearl Weiner, and Charles Yellen. And the list of the people for whom Agudath Achim are observing Yortzites this coming week include Alan Gregory, Ida Gross, Jake Rubenstein, Paul Shapiro, Harry Yellen, Mary Cohen, Belle Finkelstein, I.L. Cottle, Sam Cottle, and Jean Drucker. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. The translation is 155. There's a prayer of praising God. We're grateful that these people have been in our lives. We read, Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv, v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha v'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. I need the kids up here one more time. Everybody else can sit down for a second, because before we get to eat the delicious dinner that's in Lefkowitz Hall, we need to say a blessing. And the blessing we say, would you grab a microphone? Grab the microphone.
Sorry.
Yes, thank you. Turn it on. Hold on to the bottom of this. That's what we need.
Yeah, get
Come
up
on,
here and
come
hold
on
this
up.
bread.
Come on up. That's okay. How awesome
Everybody
that we
get
have
up
a lot
here
of
and hold
kids.
this bread.
Come on up. A lot
Hey,
of kids.
guys.
Come on, come on. Come on, come on.
Hey,
a
guys.
lot of kids.
Oh, I'll hold the mic.
What?
Can I hold the mic?
We have. All right, you ready?
Hey, guys.
We are bread.
So the blessing for bread says that we thank God for bringing bread from the earth, but we know that bread doesn't come directly
Yes, it
from
is
the earth.
indeed bread.
It takes a team, like it takes this team to help us bless this bread. Whoa. Ready? We're going to say, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Right, I get the plate. Everybody take a piece of bread. Take a piece of bread.
Oh, no.
Get some bread. Get some bread. Take some bread.
No, it's
Everybody
fine.
gets a little piece. There's plenty more bread for grown-ups that don't have children's fingers on it. Take your bread and go down. Go back to your seats. Get ready. Get set. Try to share some bread. There's more bread in the other room. There was a lot of people, and it wasn't a very giant challah. Share some bread. Share some bread. Share some bread. Go back to your seats, and everyone, please rise. There's the bread. I found it. Please rise for the closing benediction. Go ahead. No, come here. There's more. There's more where the delicious dinner is. You can help me bless this group. Now that you're a bar mitzvah, you're an adult. You could do this. Ready? Point to the people and say. We're going to say, Yivarechacha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May God bless you and protect you. Now make it shine on them. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you. Can you feel it shining upon you? And be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face always be lifted up to you, because God always has something that God wants to look up to you about. And may God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom. We're going to sing for a second and let the family get out to the Lefkowitz Hall, and you're going to follow them out there. We're going to say, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, U'Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, U'Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Join us in Lefkowitz Hall. Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel Tov, U'Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, U'Mazel. Go get some food. Siman Tov, yeah. Everybody go get food. Go get the food. Yeah,